Good evening, people. This is a second interview for the PAs2. It's DJ Hooks representing Dance Decade, and the first PA's interview was with Ian Bland. That was a great interview. Nice to see you again, Blandy. Really, really good time. And I'm really, really glad that I've got to interview this gentleman. I met him 3 times last year. The legend that is Davos. Nice to meet you, sir. Are you well?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
All right. Never too far away from the piano, this gentleman. All right. So, as his trade says. So, lucky enough to meet you. We did the Carlton night. I DJ'd the sort of like the old school Carlton night room, which was downstairs, and you did the main stage.
That was something.
Absolutely smashed it. How did that feel for you being in Morecambe?
It was good. I went to school up that way, so
Brilliant.
It was kind of nostalgic for me. But I mean, to see such a big crowd as well at a time when the old school scene's been sort of banging on now for a good seven or 8 years, to see that strength in the crowd. That was sort of heartwarming. It sort of gave me a bit more of a kick up to carry on.
Yeah.
To carry on doing what I'm doing. So cheers, Rob.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
No problemo.
And it was nice because you look back at the video of it, and there was daughters, dads, virtual grandparents, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it was nice that there's a lot of people. It's not just people hanging on to their past.
Yeah, we're kind of in a golden age now, where a lot of people who were ravers back in the day, they've had kids. The kids have grown up, and the kids have started coming out with them. But you know, my own included, he's been to plenty of festivals and raves with me now.
That's class.
And I think that's happening, you know, sort of quite a lot everywhere now.
Yeah.
You know, people getting second wind as well, trying to recapture their childhoods, which is.
Yeah, your kids grow up, you want to have another bit of a party, and you know, we're only here once, as it were.
No,
I agree. So, the second event that we made, I must say congratulations to Rob Denwood. Every time we do one of these, there's always a wedding involved. So yeah, it was Rob Denwood's wedding. He was very, very lucky enough to get a live spot from this gentleman. So not only have I seen him live, I've been dancing on a wedding dance floor with his wife to some famous tunes. So that was all good.
Yeah,
that was really good.
You guys were so drunk.
It was my wedding.
Okay, so I've got some questions for you.
Okay,
all right.
good.
Before we do the questions, I've got one more thing we said. So we then worked at the PA's, the first one. Now, I was very lucky enough to do a DJ spot downstairs, which was great. The Vinyl Room this year, we've got some awesome acts. The VIP is Danny Newbold and Sam White. Good acts to watch. And then we've got, you know, the same as last time, myself, Matt Bell. There's Reese and Matt. We've got DJ Gal and also DJ Jay Woodrow, and that's really nice. I've known those little lads since they were kids. They bought my first decks off me when I moved on to 1210s in 1989, so that's really nice to have some old friends in there. Denny and Fingers as well are going to have a go. They like to keep them off. Fingers or thumbs, as you like to be known nowadays. All right. And also Speedy. Can't forget Speedy, lads, because he's been integral to all of this. So yes, the first two. You were playing with Two for Joy?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well,
so how was that? How did that feel when you were out on that big stage?
Do you know what, it's the second time I've gigged with him, but Mark Hall was a big hero of mine from way back in the day. All the tracks that he released, every single one, absolutely smashed it across the rave scene in the north. And over the years, I've stayed in touch with him, and I've always been like, "Come on, Mark, do you want to do a little bit of live work?" And eventually last year he gave in and came to the studio to film video. And we did, me and Suddy did a live recording of Hardcore Uproar, which we performed genuinely live here in the studio.
Epic video.
Yeah. It was pretty epic.
Great gentleman, Suddy.
And then after that, it sort of spurred Mark on, and he's pulled Two for Joy back together.
That's class.
Got other musicians in. He did the Jenks do at what's called a new beer keller now.
Yeah.
And then we booked for the PAs, and I mean, I'm sure as much for him as for me, it's something awesome to be on a stage in front of that many people who totally get what you're doing. After so many years as well. So I think Mark's taken some joy away from that. For me, I mean, God, it's as I've been going through the last 4 years, I've been ticking off my hero bingo.
Your bucket list.
And you know, working live with Mark Hall, who, you know, is probably the best keyboard player I know.
Brilliant, that's epic.
You know, that's really something for me. So yeah, that's wicked.
Absolutely fantastic.
Really
Let me
good.
go back a second. I've got my questions on a phone. Sorry, people, for looking down. I'm not being ignorant. I'm just looking down. So, we always ask these few questions, and then it's just about making sure people are informed about where this gentleman's come from and why he enjoys his music. All right. So. what was the first sort of dance music you got into? What influenced you into dance? I mean, was it the piano first, or was it?
Well, it's sort of a complex story because growing up in the 80s, or being a teenager in the 80s, we were exposed to a lot of the very first electronic sounds. So we're talking New Order, Kraftwerk, and then the sort of electro scene developed through the 80s, along with all the street kids and the body poppers.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of where it started for me.
Yeah.
But sometime in sort of 88, 89, I got a job at a club called the Adam and Eve in Blackpool.
Used to go there.
There were two DJs there, Joe Henry and Fergie.
Yeah.
And they were both really good at actually travelling away to find vinyl that nobody had. And Fergie particularly broke a lot of American soul on us and jazz and all kinds of stuff.
Fantastic.
But it was a really eclectic club, so you have Stack of Humanoid, followed by Soul to Soul, followed by all.
But that was the acid house scene, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was very up and down, was it? That was your genre.
That's kind of where it all began for me. But fairly quickly after working there was Frenzy at Sequins, which was sort of the first sort of legal rave club that I'd known of. Yeah. And this is pre the time that Hacienda turned to dance music. Yeah. This is when the Hacienda was still like a new romantic club. Yeah. And of course, at the same time as all this was going off, the Blackburn raves as well. So we were jumping in cars every weekend to
as was I. Absolutely.
So these were my formative moments. These were the things that have stayed with me and what echoes out of my stage show now. Yeah, it's
those early memories. Yeah. Very similar for me. It was Beat Street for me.
Yeah.
So that's that electro style, the movie, and that what got me. And it was the samples of where they came from, and it was that whole interest in sort of. It wasn't explosive movement. It was Depeche Mode. That was the first sort of electronic music that I listened to.
But the thing is,
there, it does turn into something else.
With Beat Street and the electro, that led you into hip hop, which opened up this whole other world that I didn't know about. The whole. American subculture, and the difficulties and struggles of black and minority kids.
That's right, of that youth culture
which we knew nothing about.
No.
And so, while the music was opening us up as well, there was all this extra knowledge coming with it that changed our attitude, and it created a generation of kids that wanted really to stick it to the man, and they wanted. They wanted racial unity and equality, which has always been the sort of watchword for me about house and rave, about everybody's on the same level. Yeah. There's no heroes, there's no stars.
No, that's brilliant. I totally agree. That's how I felt when you're at those raves and stuff in that early time. It was very special.
And some of that lingers now. There's still a lot of that positivity remaining. It's not the same, obviously.
No.
We haven't got anything to fight against, and we're all kind of getting on a bit now.
Yeah, the grey hairs and the beard make you say,
But that's where I started, and that's sort of what made me what I am today, despite everything that followed. Because I've had years being buried in the mid-90s drum and bass and all that, and it's all great stuff. But the stuff that really shaped me was that 88 to 92.
Absolutely, period. Same for me. Yeah, absolutely. So Adam and Eve was the place. So for you as a performing artist, what's your favourite venue that you've played?
Oh God. It's got to be Glastonbury.
I was just going to say that's got to be
Glastonbury.
That's got to be an easy answer, isn't
it? To be honest,
that's awesome.
It's whichever way you look at it, to appear on one of the sub-main stages at Glastonbury at my late stage in life with my short career as well, because it's only been 4 years, even though I've been working my whole life at getting the skills that I've got now.
Well, Glastonbury, I mean, handing out soap at the communal showers, I'd be impressed with the stage. That's just absolutely class.
But I mean, hopefully this year, touch wood, we'll be back from our 5th consecutive year.
Yeah, fantastic.
And my 4th consecutive on the Glade stage.
Yeah.
Last year I got referred to as an institution, which I really like.
That's nice. Yes, that's a part.
And then Glasgow is a very special experience. So we're getting settled there. We're starting to get to know the people that are there every year on the stage crew and everything.
I was 93, 94, 95 is when I went before the radio people got involved. And it was a very different event, but it is just such an iconic event. I mean, I was jealous. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's got its faults, and it's
But they have to have some sort of blueprint that they came from, and everything goes commercial.
Nobody can like everything,
no,
can they?
not at all. No, that's fair enough.
Except I really do like everything about Glasgow. I
haven't got a bad thing to say about Glasgow. I'm telling you, it's such a good place.
No, just Glasgow though. But these last 4 years, I've been travelling all over the country and little spots in Europe here and there, and it's just absolutely brilliant to see all these groups of different people, but it's the same kind of thing everywhere you go, whether you're in Wales or Bristol or London.
There's a subculture that has a similarity, don't
that
they?
attitude has stuck with people, that idea of unity and getting through the night without any aggro and simple stuff like that, and it's been really hard.
And it was, I mean, you're of a similar age to me. When I first started going out when you're 16, 17, you go in and everyone just used to get drunk, and there'd be crews of people coming from other towns. There was always spillouts into the street. It was always a nasty atmosphere.
I even saw guys wearing braces. And it's just bad seeing.
Yeah, and it was, and then all of a sudden this music changed a lot of people's opinions on how to sort of socialise, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
So staying with the idea of, you've been around England and Wales and a little bit in Europe. What's the furthest? That's another question. What's the furthest away from home you've played?
I think that would be a city in Poland called Łódź.
Right, so you've been out to Poland, class.
Yeah,
so good people, good vibe.
No, I mean, again, the Polish and there's a language difference, but there's still just the nutters that want to have it to rave music.
Yeah, they just want the same vibe. That's really good.
Even though we couldn't really communicate very well while we were over there, we still felt.
You can smile up, give a thumbs up, and it's one of those.
All it's about is that, and having it to your favourite tunes. And,
absolutely.
It's great to see that in what was formerly a sort of hardcore communist area.
People that can
so
have a look for a bit of peace for sure.
That was cool.
Did you ever go to any of the warehouse raves?
Oh yeah.
You did,
I can remember the dates of my first three. 21st of January 1991, just round the corner from Set End, and 28th of January 1991. I can't remember where it was, but it was snowing. And then I missed a week, and then the week after that.
And I missed a week.
And the week after that was Unit 7, the famous.
So you remember
Which one? Because Unit 7. Well, I was going to the warehouse parties from 89, 90, and I was at Set End on a Friday and a Saturday and everything, and we'd get to the parties early, and the Digger, all those sorts of raves. Unit 7, they did two, the Whiteberg ones. The first Unit 7 was ace. The second one got videoed.
I was
at Haslingden. That was iconic. And those videos are still bobbing around on the internet now, aren't they?
I remember one of my favourite memories about the raves, and it happened at almost all of them. I mean, you cram 8,000 to 10,000 people in a warehouse, and then they dance solid from about 10 o'clock at night till about 10 in the morning. When the sun comes up, about 4 feet above everybody's head, there's a layer of cloud.
Mist. It's just steam, isn't it, coming up people?
It's kind of magical.
Absolutely.
I know it's just a big cloud of sweat, but it's a magical.
Yeah, when you've been involved in the evening, it's a magical cloud. When you walk in, it's like ooh.
Yeah.
Can I ask you why you remember the dates so well? Why are the dates important?
Because my very first rave was the day before my 21st birthday.
I know there's something had to be there, didn't it?
So
that's
before that,
and then that was the month that followed. A good birthday there.
I didn't really look back.
You had one weekend off in that month. Did you?
One of the best for the first Unit 7 at Haslingden. The best story I've got is we were going down the big hill in Blackburn, and it was a very thin road. And there was a traffic lights, like one of those little sort of like temporary traffic lights, and everyone was going through, and it went from green to red, and everyone kept going because they weren't missing the front of the convoy. And there was this poor couple in a car facing the other way, and they were sat there, and it went red, then green, then red, then green, and we slowed down and went past them and said, I think you should join the masses. And he just said, I don't think we're getting anywhere else. And literally, on my kids' lives, about 6 hours later, they were in the rave. We were like, you were the pair in the car. And they said, this is what it was all about. What a good way. So
there was a lot,
great times they were.
Crazy coincidences like that. It used to happen a lot.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah. So other than furthest away from your home, I know you're under Davos. Have you had any other sort of pseudonyms that you've played under?
Well, I started out years ago. I was in a band in Preston called Teen Gods. And we got drunk a lot and played rock music all around the circuit in Preston and nearby. And after that, I got sick of that after a while, and it gets more and more difficult keeping a band together. Yeah. And I got a computer and started writing for myself under the name Big Wheel, and I was doing kind of trip hop, very laid back, down tempo stuff. And then after about maybe couple of years of that, I dragged Damien Lee, you know, one of the old Monroe's DJ, and Andy Senior, who's an old warehouse DJ as well. And I wanted to get a bit more of the flavour of the dance floor into the music that I was doing. So then we formed Trigger Funk, and that was going okay for a bit, but we kept hitting a brick wall with the industry, because it is all about who you know. And at the time,
absolutely sad, but very, very true.
And then sort of that tailed off, and then my video went viral, and
as we've all seen, and it just boom, 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 and isn't it great? One thing can just cut, and it's much respect to you, Davos lad, because you have a natural feel for a keyboard. You've got great flair. I'm a sort of a musician and a slight pianist, and I promise I won't play chopsticks for you. But I see the way you twiddle the keys.
Where you stand.
So it is. It's not, and I like it. It's very, very good to listen to. So there are your pseudonyms. So going back to your earliest tunes, see if you can name 3 tunes that really influence you in moving into dance music.
Right. Okay. God, that's tough. That because. Most of us DJ music types, we have a top 1,000 that changes.
I know, I've got 4,000 vinyl, and it's just whatever your mood is, isn't it?
Right, if I think back to the deepest moments I ever had on the dance floor, when something just absolutely smacked me in the head, and I think Liaisons D's Future FJP.
Yes.
That murdered me. That.
On the flip side of Heartbeat, what a tune.
Yeah. Frank DeWolf's The Tape.
Yes.
Because that's a crazy tune, and it really.
B-sides Volume 1.
And I think there was a tune. I was living in my flat in Bolton, and I was just listening to Key 103.
Yep.
And a tune came on, and within 30 seconds of listening to it for the very first time, I knew it was going to be one of the biggest tunes ever, and that was Passion by Gat Decor.
Yeah.
Without
the original, without the
original. Yeah.
And I've done a few nights with people say, "You're not playing the vocals. This is the original." No, the original with the vocals. No, seriously. It's coming on in a minute.
It was designed as an instrumental.
Yeah, as a lot of music was, and then they got redone, didn't they? You know.
But also, I mean, you said top 3, but there's like Shaker Song and Voodoo Ray and Energy Flash. And Express Yourself by NWA and Rebel MC, and it's just
so many, and that's the acid house scene, wasn't it? It was very much so. It was
very eclectic back then.
Groove, it was Delight Groovers in the Heart, which was a very crossover genre, but very, very good at the time.
It was cool.
Yeah. So another couple of questions for you, sir, before we'll let you get back to, because he's a very busy man, and we've stopped him from working here, so we must have thanked him for doing this. What piece of work have you most enjoyed creating yourself?
Good question.
I guess the medley that I play live, because I did all the background production in here by myself.
To go with it, yeah.
So I'm sort of proud of that, but you know, in hindsight, it could use a lot of work now. So that's what we did. And it's just
many, and that's the acid house scene, wasn't it? It was very much so. It was
very eclectic back then.
Groove, it was Delight Groovers in the Heart, which was a very crossover genre, but very, very good at the time.
It was cool.
Yeah. So another couple of questions for you, sir, before we'll let you get back to, because he's a very busy man, and we've stopped him from working here, so we must have thanked him for doing this. What piece of work have you most enjoyed creating yourself?
Good question.
I guess the medley that I play live, because I did all the background production in here by myself.
To go with it, yeah.
So I'm sort of proud of that, but you know, in hindsight, it could use a lot of work now. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Never a finished product, is it?
Yeah. In terms of music that we've written and produced, well, I mean, we've got about 4 releases coming out in the next couple of months, and they're all belters. I think the strongest thing I've done is we formed a band with a couple of mates from down south called Made on Earth.
Right.
And we wrote a track, or I wrote the parts and the arrangement for a track, and then the guys took those parts away and gave them to real musicians, and then gave them back, and I finished it off. And it's got a fantastic vocal on it. The track's called In Came You, and we've got a number of mixes ready for release.
Brilliant.
It's that far away from
Is that
out
that bird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What sort of BPM?
It's 124. So
that's all good.
But it's a mixture of house, gospel, and soul music.
Oh wow!
All in one.
Brilliant.
So I really can't wait for that to get out.
Yeah. And what's it going to be released under? What's the?
We've no idea.
No, yeah. So that is fresh off the press. It's not even been named. His favourite tune. It's not even been named yet. That's brilliant.
We're hoping for a decent distribution.
That's an answer you wouldn't expect.
We want to get it to as many ears as possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because there's a very high standard of musicianship from all the other musicians that we've used on it. So it's a definite hit.
Give us a copy and I'll throw it to everybody.
I will.
So we had this one last night, and I admitted to my guilty pleasure, and it was George Michael, Different Corner. I admitted to that. The words, I've had a lot of crying nights over that one. So, musically, what is your guilty pleasure?
80s disco. So, like the Whispers, Kool and the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire, not YMCA. I'll just say that again. Not YMCA.
I could see you in that policeman outfit.
I am not a monster.
No,
but 80s disco stuff. I mean, anything. I mean, like Tavares. Four guys with microphones doing that. Yeah. You can't beat it.
No, that's a bit of disco. Yeah. That's brilliant.
It's not that guilty of pleasure, really. I sort of wear it like a badge. It's great.
So, a couple of questions for you, just before we end the interview, man, because I agree that you're very, very busy. We do apologise to take up this man's time.
You're all right.
All right. So, future events. What's in the pipeline?
Right. Well, I'm off to Belgium in a week to do my first gig with Peter Hook and the Light, who I'll be touring with this year, playing keyboards, smashing out New Order tracks and Joy Division tracks to sell out audiences.
That's brilliant.
Looking at the calendar across the world. So I'm pretty excited about that.
You're jet setting the next 12 months or so. Wow, fair play, lads. You've earned it.
That, we've still got all the Davos gigs to get through as well. So busy boy.
Oh, it's nice as you're not just the Davos. It's you're just that's nice. That's nice. So last question. Other than yourself, obviously, and watching all the punters, because that's what it's about. It's seeing the crowd's faces and how much they enjoy it when you're playing.
Yeah.
What other of the PAs that are on the PAs too? Which one are you most looking forward to seeing?
It's got to be FPI Project.
I think everyone's going to say that. Other than themselves.
If you actually listen to FPI Project's tracks, I know they sit well in the pantheon of rave music, but when you think about how the guy put it together, sit down and why did he make that decision and why did he put that there? It's actually pretty clever music. And when I've been learning FPI Project pieces for my medley, they've been the trickiest to learn. And I suspect, that whoever originally wrote them has got some serious keyboard skills. Two or three epic piano sort of solos from those guys. I mean, Rich in Paradise, we spoke about this last night, but that was it was a salsa in Paradise for me, with the whistles in the background, because it reminded me of my young days at the Hacienda and stuff with the whistle. I've also got to say Adamski.
I've said Adamski.
We had this same thing with Blandy last night. As soon as they were matched, so that's really nice.
I've got to say Adamski because I saw Adamski live at what was then, they called it the Blackburn Hacienda Manhattan Heights, which we later ran as an event as well. But he actually performed that night with Seal, and it was just immense. And he had a big silver suit on and a stupid peaked hat.
Who's Seal? I don't remember Seal. It's all about Adamski.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fringe.
All right, so people, brilliant interview. Really, really nice to speak to you. We'll let you get on. So listen, people, just reminding you, it's the 25th of March this year, 2017. The PA's 2 at the Preston Guildhall. It's an early start. You've got great VIP tickets. There are a few left. I think the early birds may have gone. You might have missed out on that. But like I said last night, you can go to a festival, a day festival, 80, 90, 100, 120 bahts. Yeah, that's how much it costs. You might get 5 or 6 acts in. All right? We are putting on at least 10 acts with loads of DJs, and it's £20 of your finest English pennies. All right?
Proper value for money.
So